This edition of the MG Trophy Championship is sponsored by 3C Test Limited. Quality and excellence in EMC testing. Hi and welcome along to the first in a new series featuring the MG Trophy Championship. The first event of the year is here at Donington Park. We've got a great entry of the MG ZRs for you, the 190, 170 and 160 classes all featuring. And before racing got underway, we spoke to Pete McWaters, the championship coordinator, to find out a little bit more.
So Pete, here we are, first round, Donington Park, iconic circuit and a great looking grid.
Yeah, really pleased. We actually had 30 entered, but unfortunately we've lost 2, so we're down a bit on what I'd hoped for. A few of the regulars haven't made it this year to this round, but we'll see them out at Brands, so I think we're going to max the grid at Brands at 34.
Now a few changes, a few tweaks in the regs this year, some changes to the classifications and also about drop scores. Tell us about those.
Yeah, what we've done, we haven't had a Class A for some years now because that was the old rear wheel drive TF and F cars which we dropped. So what we've done, rather than have B, C and D, we've moved everybody up. So it's A, B, C now. So A's the 190s, B's the 170s and C's the 160s. And what the other thing we've changed, which you'll be able to see later on, we've changed the sun strips so that you can see them. So the A class cars will be day glow orange, the 170 cars are day glow yellow, and the 160 cars are white. So much easier for you to see them on the film. Changes to the regs are mainly in the Class C to make them go a bit faster, to make them slightly more competitive. We've put them on the same tyre as the 170, so they're on the Dunlop Director, which is a 1B tyre as against the road tyre they used to race on. It's slightly more expensive because it is a race tyre, but it will last longer, so it means their lap times will be a bit quicker and they go around corners better. So we think that's a step up. So we'll find out this year if that's worked, but so far from what I've heard yesterday, that seems to be the case.
And the drop score system, how does that work?
We're doing 14 rounds this year instead of the normal 12, so we're doing all the car club events, the 6 double headers, and we're also going to Knock Hill. So it gives us 14 rounds so they can drop their lowest 2 instead of their lowest 1.
Now the Class C's, the 160s, has been sort of the smaller grid up until now, but we've sort of gone from about 4 to 10 plus cars. Yeah,
the third year of that particular class, it was sort of make or break really. You would know if it was going to work or not work. The chap who won the championship last year was in a Class C car, or it was Class D then, in a 160, so I think that helped. His car was on the stand at the Autosport show and it got a lot of attention. I've now got 10 registered in that class, so it's a really good number, and I think it will get stronger and stronger because it's so cheap. You can buy a car for about £3,000 and you can race it. If you're under 25, you can race it for a whole season for the same price again, so £6,000, it's a no-brainer.
So William, here we are in the 160 class, first race out for you. How does it feel?
Yeah, it was good fun. I qualified first, so it was a great first run.
Karting is your previous experience, quite a change from karting to these saloon cars.
Yeah, as in these are front wheel drive, karting was rear wheel drive, so just getting used to that.
And why the Trophy Championship?
It's just a great way to get into motorsport really. It's not particularly expensive, it's just good fun.
So Johnny, first time out for you in this MG Trophy. How did it feel? 4th in qualifying, not a bad start.
No, quite happy with that really. First time I've ever been in the wet in this car, so really happy. Yeah, just happy that I got home in one piece and can try and have a good race, go hard at the race.
Now, looks like ideal weather conditions. Do these suit your sort of driving?
Yeah, dry. I want it dry. So yeah, hopefully my tyres will hold up because they're quite old, but yeah, should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the MG Trophy Championship seems to be a great stepping stone in motorsport. What's your ultimate aim as you move?
Well, big ambitions. I'd like to sort of British touring cars one day, but you never know. But this is just a bit of fun for us, just something to do at weekends, and yeah, really enjoying it so far.
Patrick, welcome to the championship. Done qualifying. How did you do?
I was really pleased. I was 12th out of 19, which for my first ever qualifying session ever is, not a bad result.
Now we're seeing quite a lot of new drivers to this championship, which is great. It's increasing grids year on year. Now you've chosen the 170 class. To date, one of the most competitive ones there is.
Yeah, I was warned about that, and I thought, well, I want to do this to enjoy racing and learn to race, so I thought I'd just jump in with both feet, and that's what I've done.
Is this one of these things that you thought, well, I always fancied to go at racing, and this is the ideal one for me?
I couldn't have put it better myself. I met Alex from 4G Racing last year when I just started doing track days, and he said, if you want to go in a race championship, this is the one you want to be in.
Very friendly paddock, but very competitive on the circuit.
It is both of those things. I'm getting advice from people who are my competitors already, and I'm hoping they give me good advice.
Now Simon, welcome back. No stranger to the MG Trophy. We saw you 2010, 2011. What's brought you back?
Yeah, just had a few years off doing some endurance racing with Doug Cole, one of the fellow competitors here, and I thought it was about time to do some sprint racing again, get a bit angry again, and instead of this just lap after lap. So it's a good championship to come back to. Somebody offered me a cheap car, so it was sort of like a no-brainer really. Thought the best thing to do, head back to the trophy.
Now 170 class over these last couple of years while you've been away, it really hots up the action in that class, so you've got your work cut out really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's some really strong drivers. If you look at the qualifying times this morning, we're a good few seconds off the pole guys. I think there's some young blood in there, which helps as well. So I'm getting a bit old now. Been doing this quite a long time. So, but I'm still hoping to give them a good race today. Never go particularly well in the wet personally, so it was wet qualifying. So I'm hoping in the dry we'll have a good race.
So the 3C Test MG Car Club MG Trophy getting underway here at Donington Park. Pole position goes to Chris Bray, returning to the championship. Doug Cole alongside. Jack Roberts pole for Class B from Paul Luty. William Payne is on pole for Class C from John Gill. John Gill, the defending champion, running in Class C, the 160s. You can see the new colours on the sun strips, very clear indeed. Orange for the 190s, yellow 170, white 160. Very impressive grid. Even more cars to come out. Lights are on. Bray and Cole on the front row of the grid. Cole in the darker blue car, number 99. Bray gets a good one. Chris Bray is away, multi-champion in this formula, and he gets a great start. Doug Cole slots into second contact. Richard Marsh is on the grass in the middle of the pack. And coming onto the track, Patrick Blue just avoids him, and Patrick swerved. That's what you've got to watch out for. I think thankfully everybody coming through that unscathed. We don't want to see any damage for sure. Robin Walker goes past Ian Bolton. You can see the bulk of the cars of the yellow Class Bs. They've all made a good start. I think it was Paul Luty who had the best start in Class B. So Luty in the lead, I think, from Lee Sullivan, new driver to our championship. Ian Bolton takes a spin. Now let's fingers crossed nobody hits him. Bolton there. Gianni manages to go past with the others. Some frenetic racing with this many cars on track. Of course you are going to get incidents. There in 88 is James Cole on the outside line of Jack Roberts in 31. In car with James having a look, coming up into Coppice. Through goes the 31 car of Roberts down the inside. Fergus Campbell in red is coming up to challenge as well. These guys at the sharp end of the Class B runners, the 170 class. And here's James Cole having a look at Roberts. So right in the mix there, Cole in the 88 car. Right in front of him, Fergus Campbell. And at the moment, Jack Roberts starting to get away from those. Roberts started on pole position in the class. The class is led by the first of the yellow sun strips. That's Paul Luty from the orange car of Lee Sullivan. Chris Bray and Doug Cole still out front for the Class A's. So it is a job to know where to look. Getting very physical in front of us. And James Cole nips through on the inside of that particular scrap. Here we go in car with Jake Fraser-Burns. Jake qualified 8th in class for Class B here in the 3C Test Trophy meeting. So Fergus Campbell just again being got the better of by 88 James Cole in the 170s. James qualifying in 10th position. Here's the view from Sam Ray, 26, qualified 9th in class. You can see visibility, a little bit of a premium. You're going to get all sorts of stuff chucked up at you. There is the 26 car of Sam Ray, immaculately prepared car. I've got to say, the preparation standards, absolutely impeccable right the way down the field. And as always, we urge you to come and watch the racing. Come and see us in the flesh, or in the tin, as it were, and then enjoy the coverage that we show a little bit later on, and relive the event. It's a very friendly paddock. If you're looking at coming into racing, it's a great place to be. Right in the mix there was William Payne, the blue and white car. He is leading the 160 class at the moment, and this is the battle for the lead of Class B, and at the moment Paul Luthi in 69 has got it, but coming under pressure from Lee Sullivan in 68. You can see the race leaders up ahead. Doug Cole still in second position, Chris Bray the overall leader. They're leading Class A, the 190s. This is the battle for the 170s, just to put the perspective on it for you. And Dicey's going on right the way down the order. Robin Walker there in 77, orange sunstrip. He's on the podium at the moment in Class A for the 190s. And this race not working out too badly at the moment. Here's Patrick Booth, 33, qualified away down in 15th. We got somebody off the track. Red and grey car off the circuit. We'll try and ID that for you as we go back. 65 is Gianni Piccioni looking around the outside. He's racing well. We've got a lot, as we said, a lot of drivers coming into Class C. And the idea is, of course, you come into Class C, learn the craft, enjoy the championship, and then move back up. There's Mark Bellamy in number 14. Mark qualified down in 18th. I think he's making some reasonable progress up the order. Jake Fraser-Burns here just up ahead of Sam Ray. And Sam will be hoping to get a good run along the Wheatcroft straight down into Redgate as we head back to Robin Walker down the inside line. Finley Hutchinson is there as well, and in the mix the lead driver in Class C, William Payne. Welcome back to the 3C Test MG Car Club MG Trophy here at Donington Park. Just before the break we saw a couple of spinners. It was Paul Savage who's retired and Jim Kennan. Jim's still on his way. A little bit of a half moment there for Mark Bellamy, who's being challenged by William Payne, the leader of Class C, the 160 class. So he's having a pretty good debut out of it as we pick up on car number 48. Ollie Coles up ahead of him, 57 is William Payne, and this the battle for the lead in the 170s. Paul Luthi on the outside line going into Redgate, and up front now Lee Sullivan. Two sequential numbers, 68 leading 69 at the moment, down into through Hollywood and down into the Craner curves. And Paul Luthi, veteran of the championship, quick old peddler. There in 65 is Gianni Piccioni, who's running well at the moment and finds himself up ahead of William Payne. So this is the battle for the lead here of the 160 class, and Gianni has it at the moment. Mark Bellamy in between. Oliver Coles is there as well, but look at William Payne in the 57 trying to get in the mix as well and try and claim the leader. So trying to claim the lead. Both of them newcomers. You see the newcomers insignia on the car. I think I might have incorrectly called that Payne was in the lead. He certainly qualified in pole position, so Gianni had a very good start, but look how competitive that is between the two of them. Sam Rain 26 goes through. Is it a problem there for James Cole? Might be a retirement for James Cole, certainly not looking happy. There is Doug, happy birthday. We won't sing the songs. Doug Cole chasing on, still Chris Bray out front. Chris Bray last time he was overall champion 2014. Second in the championship, a 190 champion in 2013, overall champion 2012, overall champion 2009. He's been in it so long, and really is a benchmark for the others to look at. Ian Bolton goes through, followed by 23 Paul Savage. Then the 48 car of Ollie Coles. James Cole sadly coming into retirement. Not sure what the problem is. Try and find out before race 2. James Cole qualified in 7th position in Class B. Paul Bryson involved in the mix as well as we pick up the race leaders, and Doug Cole now all over the back of Chris Bray. Doug Cole piling the pressure on and trying to get his nose up the inside. Cole's through into the lead. Doug Cole takes the lead from Chris Bray. Great manoeuvre coming through Coppice now and onto Exhibition Straight. Doug Cole the leader, and that looked like a very well timed manoeuvre. but Bray's going to fight back. He's got the inside line down into the chicane. Brilliant. MG Car Club, MG Trophy Racing, and Doug Cole's relegated to second. Donington Park always affords action like this. If you've got evenly matched cars and drivers, and across the line they go once again. 33 Patrick Booth, he's running in 7th position. They passed Martin Webber, car number 12, 5th position at the moment in Class C, so he's a lap down but enjoying his race nonetheless. And back to the leaders, Bray and Cole very much at it. Bray had the measure of Doug Cole earlier on, but Cole's car, or Cole's driving, it seems to have warmed up throughout the race, very much on the case, and it's going to be a question of timing for those two drivers. Here come the Class B cars, the 170s, and through down into the lead again goes the 68 Paul Luty on the outside line, and Lee Sullivan takes the inside line going down into Hollywood. He's going to take it, but Luty's not giving up. Side by side, classic Donington Park race action. Good, clean, fair stuff from these two. The number 1 car in front is the reigning champion John Gill. Sullivan takes the class lead. They have to kind of fall into line. Luty loses a bit of momentum there and might well drop away, but meanwhile we've got Doug Cole and Chris Bray up amongst the backmarker drivers, and Cole here has surely picked the right line coming down the exhibition straight, passes the 65 car of Gianni Piccioni and goes through. So Doug Cole is there. It's a job to know where to look, isn't it, in this racing, as Paul Luty tries to go back through and past the 68 car of Lee Sullivan. Splendid scrap between the pair of them, but there's Chris Bray back in front of Doug Cole. Brilliant racing between the pair. Absolutely fantastic. This is what this sort of racing is all about. It's affordable, it's fun, we've got good clean racing going on there, training places, and yeah, you've really got to come out and see this at the track because it sets up an electric atmosphere at the circuit. So Chris Bray back out front. Doug Cole's not finished. It could be about how they read the back markers once again. Cole, I think, did a masterly piece of race reading before. Chris Bray's nose. Doug Cole's through at Schwantz Curve. Nips back through into the lead. Back markers don't even come into it. And Doug took a great run along the straight, along Starkey Straight and up into Schwantz to take the lead. Back we go though with the 170 class. Paul Luty still there at the moment. The battle's being mirrored, aren't they, between 170s and 190s. Classic battle for the lead. Lee Sullivan is on the outside line here. Luty up into McLean's on the inside. He's going to have to run. Sullivan's going to try and hold on to him here. Side by side they go, heading up the hill in towards Coppice. Luty's got the inside line. Sullivan here is thinking about the run, if he can hold on around Coppice and down the straight, maybe a bit more momentum. Luty's just trying to get on that outside line, but can't quite do it. Sensational racing. Fergus Campbell's coming up to join in as well. Here they come, into the chicane they go once again. Sullivan's got back in front, Luty second, and now look at the run out of the chicane for the 131 car. Fergus Campbell goes second. He's challenging for the lead. A mighty three-way scrap here for the 170 class here in MG Trophy. That little bit of a jink there from Campbell. Luty was right behind him. It affords half a car's length to the class leader. Meanwhile, we go back. Doug Cole still in front. Chris Bray is chasing him hard as they go across the line once again. Still side by side, still dealing with the traffic. There's a wheel off. And off goes Sam Ray. Sam Ray's off in the gravel. That may well bring out the red flags, certainly yellow flags there. And it's Doug Cole, the race leader, from Chris Bray. Are we going to get a red flag and maybe a checker as that car may be considered prone? Bray dives up the inside again. Doug Cole's still there. Doug's on the wider line, which affords him a bit more momentum. He'll maybe hang on, but ultimately the red flags have come out, and Doug Cole, I think, knows that he was leading the lap before the incident, which is where the result will be called. Doug Cole takes the win. Sam himself is okay, sadly joining Paul Savage, James Cole and Jack Roberts in retirement. So Doug Cole will take the win from Chris Bray. What a way to start some great racing. Cole from Bray, Lee Sullivan wins Class B, Fergus Campbell next up ahead of Paul Luty, then Jake Fraser-Burns and Patrick Booth, Richard Marsh next, Andrew Fraser-Burns in 9th, Robin Walker takes 10th position, 11th goes to Finlay Hutchinson, then Simon Byrne and Jim Kennan, Dan Jonesy in Bolton, William Payne, congratulations to him, winning Class C, Mark Bellamy is next from Ollie Coles, Gianni Piccioni next, second in class, John Gill, the defending champion, third in class and takes 20th overall ahead of Paul Bryson and Martin Webber. Fastest laps, Doug Cole, Jake Fraser-Burns and William Payne.
Doug, congratulations, race winner there. Not an easy race, but it came good in the end.
No, it's never easy racing against Mr. Bray. He's had a year out and he said to me, I'm not testing or anything. Yeah, so he was here on Friday testing. He's a very sharp competitor, it's very good. Just pity there's not any more of our 190s, but it was a good win. I like Donington. I haven't raced here since 2013. Last year I was ill, I was qualified and didn't race, and so it's good to come back, and I always like Donington, it's a cracking place, and it's just a lovely place to race, and you get quicker and quicker. I was taking it easy for the first few laps and to sort of getting the tyres nice and warm, because these were on the new Dunlop 720s, which are even harder than before. They're a little bit unknown at the back, so you've got to let them warm up, and Chris was getting away, but I wasn't worried. I knew my lap times would come. I got a bit of lucky with one of the first back markers we came across, and he got caught balked a little bit, but then I just managed to reel him in, and I think it was only a matter of time, but we had a great race. I mean, at one point we were door handle to door handle down through the Craners. He gave me room and I gave him room, and it was cracking. It was a really enjoyable race, and we don't lean on each other. We've raced long enough since 2008 when I've been in the trophy, and it's been great fun, and to win was really good, and especially my sponsor 3C Test is also sponsoring the meeting as well, so James is around somewhere, so it's one for him.
Chris, here we are on the podium again after a year sabbatical, so obviously the year off hasn't done you much harm.
I wasn't too sure how today was going to go, but yeah, it seems to be going okay at the moment. We've just got such a big support crew behind us with the sponsors, and also the guys behind the scenes sorting out the car. Just all come together straight away, so yeah, it's quite pleasing. One of my weakest circuits. Now,
we're used to seeing the finish line UK car at the front there, but it's not easy, is it? I mean, that was quite a race, nip and tuck most of the way.
Yeah, a lot goes into it. It is really tight at the sharp end, so yeah, we're not getting it easy. We're having to put a lot of effort in behind the scenes. But that's what it's all about, really. The more effort you put in, hopefully you get the reward, and yeah, in this occasion we did, so it's really good. Yeah, just looking forward to the other meetings, and hopefully they may turn out like this.
Okay, here we are, Class B winners there, Lee and Paul. First of all, Lee, if we can come to you. We haven't seen you, this is your first time out this year, and just tell us about that. That was a fair battle that you're having there.
Yeah, that was a brilliant, fair battle, I thought. We were swapping and changing places all the time. It's great that we had no paint exchanges. Yeah, it's brilliant all the way through. I mean, I don't actually know where I come yet because there's a red flag, and I think Paul was in front on the lap before. We don't know, but brilliant race, brilliant championship. Really enjoyed it.
Now over to Paul. Now, Paul, obviously you've got a contender here. You've got to keep your eye on.
I know, disaster, eh? I'm gonna have to drive now. Yeah, no, I'm actually chuffed to bits because we lost two really fast guys. They decided not to come out this year, so I'm just chuffed to bits that Lee has come to take at least one of those places. So yeah, and he showed me up today. He did really well. He was far more planted than I was. He drove well. He passed great. You know, his braking was unbelievable. Yeah, I've got a lot of practice to do now.
Fergus, second place, Class B, congratulations. Quite an eventful start.
Yes, it was a very eventful start. I got a great start, got alongside the guy who was on pole, had a huge moment at the first corner, dropped to 6, and had to sort of get my elbows out and start coming through, which was quite fun.
So when an incident happens like that, do you reset your mind straight away, or just need a lap or two, just get your thoughts back?
It's very instinctive. You just got to pick the throttle up straight away, stop the car from sliding and get stuck in again whilst all the cars are stuck together. It's your best chance to recover from the mistake. And after that I was able to pick a few more off, and I could see the leaders up ahead, and I thought they're having a great race, and just concentrated on doing my own thing really, and bit by bit they were slowing themselves up a little bit and I was going a little bit quicker, and I got in amongst them at the end, which was a very pleasant surprise.
Finlay, welcome to the MG Trophy. Great to see you on the grid there. How did that first race go for you?
Yeah, it went good. We started sort of pretty near the back and then managed to work our way through the field. There was lots of crashing at the start, but it was definitely a big learning curve getting to drive the front-wheel drive cars. The car control's a lot different, so initially in qualifying practice today, being my first time driving a front-wheel drive racing car, I sort of struggled a bit, but towards the end of that race I was getting a lot more confident within the car, so good.
Now, one of the youngest drivers on the grid, 16 years old, but no stranger to motorsport. First of all, the team behind you, Finish Line Motorsport, they seem to be a good one to have behind you.
Yeah, they're very professional. They've given me a really racy car to drive and really happy with the balance and how it's handling, so they're definitely a very good team to be around.
William, fantastic result for you there. First in class, not bad for someone that's only passed the RARD's licence in the last month.
Yeah, it's a really good result. I'm really happy with it.
How did it feel when you first set off? I mean, did you have were you keeping calm? Did you watch your mirrors? What was the tactics?
I was quite worried about starting, but I didn't have a great start. I lost a couple of places, but once I got into it, I made those places back up, and it went really well.
A great start for the race season, but it must give you more motivation as you go into race 2.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm starting at the first again for race 2 as well, so hopefully I can finish first as well.
Race 2 in the 3C test meeting, and pole position goes to Chris Bray. Doug Cole having won race 1, but it's the second fastest lap from the original qualifying session that gives us the grid. So it's Chris Bray and Doug Cole on the front row, and we've got Jack Roberts and Paul Luthi about to engage in battle again. Will Payne and John Gill top 2 in the Class C's. Lights go out, we're racing here at Donington Park. In car with Doug Cole, look how quick Chris Bray is off the line, going down towards Redgate. Great start from Paul Luthi. Paul intimating in the interview needs to up his game. Well, I thought he did pretty well in race number 1. It is a very, very good start. Round the outside line goes Jake Fraser-Burns. 77 on the inside is Robin Walker, but it's Chris Bray that leads. Doug Cole being challenged by Paul Luthi. Then we've got Lee Sullivan in the mix as well. Sullivan's come up from 3rd on the grid. Jack Roberts again, not a particularly good start. Sideways moment there for Jake Fraser-Burns. Off onto the gravel, does the right thing, keeps the momentum going, gets out of the gravel, still on the grass. He'll rejoin when it's safe to do so, but that's going to knock off a few potential championship points for Jake. Jack Roberts in 31. Didn't seem that quick off the start, but as you can see, chasing the orange 68 of Lee Sullivan. Paul Luthi's got a few lengths on the pair of them as they come up towards the end of lap number 1. In car with Patrick Booth momentarily. There he is in the 33. Right in the mix of things. They make a great sight, make a great sound as well, these cars, when you listen to the in-car shots. Now, Chris Bray was well ahead of Doug Cole, had a couple of lengths on him. Cole's got his tyres up to temperature, he's running well. Paul Luthi leading the Class Bs at the moment. There's the second place car and the third place car, the 68 of Lee Sullivan. And then 31 Jack Roberts. Doug Cole having a look at the outside line. These two resuming the battle from race number 1. Cole is high and wide down at Redgate. New leader back in Class B, because we've now got Lee Sullivan through into 3rd place on the road. He will lead Class B, the 170s. Class A down to 3 runners for this weekend for the 190s, but as we saw in race number 1, some fantastic racing from those guys. Jack Roberts still in 3rd position at the moment in the 170 class, and the lead car, Lee Sullivan, starting to try and mix it with the 2 guys in Class A. And here's the view from Doug Cole, points the car up the inside on the exit of Coppice, onto Exhibition Straight. And here they come now, down into, well, look at the power between the pair of them, and it looks good here for Chris Bray, but Doug Cole slightly better down the gears, on the brakes, into the chicane, retains the lead. Lee Sullivan still in 3rd place, leading Class B. So Sullivan up ahead of Paul Luthi, then 131, the red car of Fergus Campbell, and further back down the order, Martin Webber and 32, Finlay Hutchison going through. Martin Webber took a 5th place finish in race number 1 to open up his Class C, the 160 class campaign, and it's Doug Cole up front at the moment ahead of Chris Bray. Lap record on this circuit held by Paul Luthier, 1 minute 20.805. Race number 1, best lap of the race going to Doug Cole with a 121.888. There is Jack Roberts. A couple of issues from qualifying as we look at Paul Bryson in 42. 82 is Jim Kennan, one of the drivers we saw in part 1, in the aftermath of that spin. Jim Kennan with Paul Savage as well. We go back in car with Paul Bryson. So Bryson coming out of McLean's and then heads, as you can see here, uphill in towards Coppice, the double apex right-hander. They'll take the apex on the first part. Paul Bryson does more than that and takes a spin. So Bryson is in the gravel. Now, will he be able to get extricated from there? We're going to have to wait and see. Here we've got a battle between John Gill and the number 12 Martin Webber. John Gill, the defending champion. Past them goes Jim Kennan in 82. Marshall's has done a great job getting Paul Bryson back on circuit, so Paul's going to rejoin the fray. Might find himself a little bit down the order as he stalled. Marshall's just waiting for him to fire up. A little nod there to say, yeah, he's okay. He's back in the race and he'll enjoy his race time. There's number 11, Dan Jones. First proper look at Dan in this one, qualified in 8th position for race number 1. And we're in car with Ian Bolton. Ian Bolton then finished in 12th position in Class B, 15th overall in race number 1. And he's the third of the cars, second of the car now just going out of shot. Chased by Sam Ray, who we saw non-finish in race number 1, indeed the cause of the red flag and stoppage for race number 1. Here's the view from Ian Bolton once again. Bolton in the 74, chasing 88 James Cole. Mark Bellamy had a cracked cylinder head incidentally in race number 1, and he's not taken to the grid. James Cole lost a gearbox plug, but that's been sorted out and he's back out. Ray Ferguson on the outside line there. The blue car 32, Finley Hutchison's got the better of that battle at the moment, just outside the top 10 for Class B. Those two go back with James Cole. James Cole up towards the sharp end of things. There he is in the 88 car with Ian Bolton right behind. So into Coppice, inside line there Richard Marsh, who we saw off the track at the start of race number 1, slightly happier in this one. And in the gravel is Martin Webber. Well, Martin was running well, he was up with last year's champion, but here we go, back with the race lead. This is going to be race 1 all over again. Doug Cole loses the lead again momentarily. The key thing there for Chris Bray is about really getting the run out of the chicane, because if you can get your nose in front on the straight, you can take the flag. Now Bray here's gone back to the inside line to come through Hollywood, and now down into the Craner curves. Get your eyes open for Cole, he's still there. They were side by side momentarily. Cole getting the run down towards the old hairpin, back into the overall lead. Fantastic racing from the 190s at the front of the field. Patrick Booth in car number 33 about to have a go at Sam Bray in car number 26 and try and go through. They're dicing just outside the top 10 of the Class Bs, past Paul Bryson in 42. Jake Fraser Burns up ahead of Dan Jones. Those guys in the top 10 for the Class Bs at the moment. There's Jim Kennan, as you can see, relative newcomer to motor racing. Simon Byrne and James Cole, 5th and 6th I think at the moment in Class B. Certainly up towards the front end of things, with Richard Marsh trying to hunt those guys down as well. We've got another car just momentarily going off onto the gravel. Sam Ray running a little bit wide. Here we go with James Cole, like father like son. Let's have a look and see, coming down into the chicane, and Sam chasing Simon Byrne James chasing Simon Byrne at the moment with Richard Marsh in behind. In car with Jake Fraser-Burns. So down the Wheatcroft straight, over to the outside line. Oh, and in fact, Jake Fraser-Burns sees a gap on the inside of Richard Marsh and manages to pop through. 17 passes 19. We've got James Cole still in front. Great four-way scrap for this position. And we go back to the lead. Doug Cole is the race leader. In car with Chris Bray. P2, the multi-champion, chasing down Doug Cole in the 3-seat test car, running well. So here they come, dealing with a little bit of back marker traffic, and we'll conclude the race after this break. Welcome back to Donington Park, the first meeting of the 2016 MG Car Club MG Trophy. This meeting sponsored by 3C Test, and you're looking at a great battle there between Jake Fraser-Burns and Richard Marsh. This though is the battle for the lead. We've got 3 classes contesting this championship. The 190s, these are the 190s out front, although we're going to go back now into the Class B cars, the 170s. Andrew Fraser-Burns down the inside of Sam Ray. The 117 car's going to try and go through. Also on the inside of Ian Bolton. Is he going to make 2 places up in just a few corners? It looks like it. In car with Fraser-Burns once again through Hollywood, down in towards the Craner curves. He's got the inside line, outside line for the next bit. If he can hang on to track position, which he does, coming down into the old hairpin, he's got the position. Ian Bolton's there as well. Patrick Booth in behind in the 33 car, and those guys all squabbling over a top 10 position as we go back to 69 and 131. Paul Luty and Fergus Campbell. Paul Luty at the moment running second in class. Lee Sullivan is the class leader. Just having a quick look to see if we can see the orange car of the class leader. Can't see that. Back to Dan Jones. Then we get Sam Ray, Ian Bolton. Ray goes off onto the grass. Rallycross moment for him. Rejoins safely too, just in front of Patrick Booth in the yellow car with the blue trim. So all those guys trying to pick up some decent points. Andrew Fraser-Burns has got up into the top 10 now. He's in 9th position in class, 12th position on the road, and the 3 Class A cars obviously up the top of the field, headed by Doug Cole and Chris Bray, who go through. Once again, it's still Doug Cole out front. They've just passed the 42 car of Paul Bryson. So they've got to deal with some of the back marker traffic. So as well as racing with each other, which they've done throughout the 2 races we've had so far, they've also dealt with back marker traffic exceptionally well as well. Ian Bolton goes off onto the gravel, back onto the grass, back onto the racetrack. Doesn't interfere with anybody else coming back on track. Well, maybe only slightly. Here's a gaggle of cars coming down the straight, headed by James Cole, with Simon Byrne in 46 in the mix as well. Jake Fraser-Burns. Some great in-car footage once again. This is one of the best tracks for undulations, and a lot of people say that the run down the Craner curves has got to be one of the most exhilarating experiences in UK motor racing. They've got another one coming up. Brands Hatch will be where you'll join us next time, and of course the equivalent there is Paddock Hill Bend, and Brands Hatch, a wonderful place to come and race too. We're blessed with some great racetracks in this country and some great national racing, which you're seeing here as well. Good fight then for positions in the 170 class still going on. Jake Fraser-Burns runs a little bit wide, gets a wheel on the grass, and back end of the car comes round, keeps his footed, does the right thing, loses a bit of time, didn't totally lose the rear end, so that was a good recovery for him. And Richard Marsh in car number 19 goes up. We've got Simon Byrne and James Cole still there. Cole in the 88 car holding on to that position. I think 5th in class at the moment. Still Lee Sullivan from Paul Luty and Fergus Campbell at the head, so some big squabbling going on. Simon Byrne is there as well, so all this for 5th position in class. And James Cole on the outside line now. Simon Byrne to the inside will hold on to that one. James will be trying to get in position for the apex there. He isn't in position to do it, so for the moment he might think about having a whiz up the inside at Schwantz, or maybe in Coppice, or perhaps again down at the S's later on in the lap. He doesn't do it at S's, he can do it coming down into Redgate. And that's what the second place car, Chris Bray, is looking to do. Rather than going on the inside, goes to the outside line. And Doug Cole seems at the moment to be equal to anything Chris Bray could be throwing at him. These two guys, both extremely accomplished MG Trophy runners and running well. Back to the scrap between Richard Marsh and Jake Fraser-Burns. James Cole immediately in front of them, and Cole coming under a bit of pressure. Here's the view from Jake in car number 17, and you can see Richard Marsh all over the back of Cole at the moment. Simon Byrne in 46 has got a couple of lengths lead over the pair of them, and back to Doug Cole. We could have spent the whole race focusing on the lead pair in the 190 class, but we've had to look back at the other races going on. William Payne, incidentally, is leading Class C still from Giano Piccioni, and John Gill, the defending champion, running third place in Class C, because we do need to respect what's going on in all the classes. Now, what can Chris Bray do? This is exhibition straight, coming down in towards the chicane. Too far back to do anything, but Doug Cole, it was interesting to hear the word bulk used in the interviews, and I'll take the back markers probably didn't. You've got to pick a line. The back markers did that, but we're on the final lap, and here comes Doug Cole, busy chasing the 82 car of Jim Kennan. I wonder if Jim's going to be passed by the time they get to the flag. Doug Cole here at the moment. A little bit of a wide run there from Kennan. Blue flag's being shown for the back marker. I think that was maybe a little moment where he looked into the mirrors. Here is Paul Luty, still second position, ahead of Fergus Campbell, who's going to challenge for that position now. Fergus Campbell round the outside line. They're going through shot. Is Lee Sullivan in orange, just out of shot, back in shot now, who's the leader in Class B, and this is the scrap for second. Paul Luty and Fergus Campbell. Luty's got it at the moment, with Fergus Campbell all over him. Meanwhile, Chris Bray gets a big sideways moment on that. Is game over for Chris Bray. Not as far as the race is concerned, but certainly with regards to the win, which is surely going to go to Doug Cole, who's got the fastest lap on lap 13. Just 2 laps ago, 121.525 for Doug Cole, very nearly averaging 90 miles an hour. This is a quick formula. Paul Luty's got the fastest lap in Class B. William Payne's got the fastest lap in Class C. So Doug Cole pops another pass on the back marker, comes across the grid lines, and we'll see the checkered flag to make it 2 out of 2 here at Donington Park. And Doug Cole is rightly delighted about that. He leaves with the Class A Championship lead with 2 wins. There is Lee Sullivan, who takes 3rd position on the road, 1st position in Class B. Doug Cole, though, the winner. Paul Luty got 2nd position in Class B. He was ahead of Fergus Campbell. Robin Walker was in between the pair of them, so it's Cole from Bray, Sullivan wins B, then Paul Luty, Robin Walker 3rd in Class A, then Fergus Campbell from Jack Roberts, Simon Byrne, James Cole, Richard Marsh. Some fine battles in Class B. 11th position goes to Jake Fraser-Burns from Andrew Fraser-Burns and Dan Jones. Sam Ray next, Patrick Booth, Ian Bolton. William Payne wins Class C. Finley Hutchison next from Oliver Coles and Jim Kennan in 20th place. 21st goes to Gianni Piccioni. He's 2nd in Class C, ahead of the 3rd place driver John Gill, then Ray Ferguson, Martin Webber and Paul Bryson in 25th.
Doug, 2 out of 2, not a bad weekend at all.
Yeah, absolutely on it. I mean, I just love this place so much. I just can't say anything. Chris is a great driver. He's been out of the car for a whole year, and to race like that, we didn't touch. I mean, we had a few little kisses, but clean racing and those. And apparently, we were trading fastest laps, which was lap records every lap, and I think I might have just nicked it. So that's good. It was just cracking. I mean, it was really enjoyable. For the last 2 years, I've not been here for whatever reason. I was ill yesterday. I was completely ill, just didn't race at all. Let's come back and do that. We had a gearbox problem in the last race where last 3 laps was no gears at all, or no clutch. So we managed to change the gearbox, change the engine, thanks to the boys, and we did a great job. And 2 out of 2. I love this place. I want every round of the MG Car Club to be here.
Well, great racing overall. We look forward to seeing you in the next race.
Yeah, and thank you very much for putting on telly, and hopefully we'll see you again soon on the Top Step. Mind you, I think Top Step might be here, my brands, because he's mega there.
Chris, another great battle there. What happened towards the end?
I lost the tyres. Like I said before, we're trying to test on these hard tyres and trying to find where we are with them. And yeah, towards the end I just overcut the tyres and didn't have anything for it, and I lost it. Went a bit sideways, scrubbed a load of time, and that's too much time to lose in a race like that. It was yeah, on the money really. We were hitting top times and couldn't do anything about it.
Now, Doug obviously favours Donington. He wants the whole season to be here if possible, but Brands Hatch next, we step into your domain.
I hope so. It has been the way. I can only hope. So I'm not going to curse myself now, but it is Doug's track here. He loves it. He does well each year, and I don't do so well here. So yeah, I can hope for Brands and hope for a good result.
Another great race, another great result there. You seem to be on your own for most of that, though.
Very, very lucky, I think, that I managed to drop Paul quite early just to get him tangled up with Fergus Campbell. But no, I'll take that. That was brilliant. That was brilliant.
I was just saying, his battle with Fergus was close all the time. That probably went in your favour partly.
Completely, yeah. No, I was watching the race. The race, as far as I was concerned, was watching them behind. But it got a little bit interesting towards the end, where some back markers are holding me up on sort of key points of the corners. But no, brilliant. I'll take it all. So I thoroughly enjoyed that, and a credit to the championship, really, the fact that I come here for the weekend and not one bit of paintwork on my car extra. So it's brilliant.
Paul, fantastic race that. You look like you're on the ragged edge most of the time.
Yeah, I was pretty much flat out. Fergus, he pushed me on. It wasn't exactly easy, but it was fun. It was good. It was good fun.
Now, you battle with Fergus. In some ways, that sort of stopped you getting to Lee.
Yeah, Lee. He's crafty. He's good. He's trick. He paid attention from race one. He knew where I was weak, so he got me straight away. Got past, and then just drove away basically. And Fergus and I got involved with each other. Bit of a battle, and of course, if we're fighting, he can get away. And I don't think he was going flat out. I think he was just keeping a nice, sensible gap.
Championship leader outright is William Payne. The top 10 continues with Lee Sullivan leading Class B, Doug Cole leading Class A. Fourth place in the championship, Paul Luty, then Gianni Piccioni, Fergus Campbell ahead of John Gill, Paul Bryson, Martin Webber and Chris Bray. Our programme today dedicated to the memory of John Horton. That's it from Donington Park. We look forward to you joining us for Event 2, which is at Brands Hatch in Kent. Join us then.